Let me ask you something. At what point did this seem like a good idea to you? You come in to my channel, to my videos, and you post trolling comments? No. No, that's just not something I can stand for, man. That's just not something that I can abide by. And you know, if I can't abide by it, you probably shouldn't have done it. But you did it anyway. Let me ask you something else, man. How'd you think this was gonna end? Oh yeah! Probably should have brought something along to clean my face with. And actually, on second thought, I probably should have used confectioner's sugar for the cocaine here. In this case, salt is actually really salty. So, I just figured that sea salt would be easier to clean up off the old desk. Anyway. Oh, those chunks of Java chip in there, yeah! Tolstoy I swear to God, with like certain foods like tater chips or something like that, they get stuck right down in my teeth. You know, being born and raised in Maryland, I realized too late in life that I had kind of a New York accent. And I didn't like, you know, it's not like something I just made up or some shit like that. I kind of started talking like this been talking this for a long time. And I kind of wonder if it doesn't come off as obnoxious. But then again, we all kind of have accents and... Oh, never mind, I'm not going to get into that. But Tolstoy Kafkaevsky here, wearing the old deity tie knot, which is an alternate way to tie your tie that was made popular by the movie The Matrix. I have got to wash off my face before I start talking. I'm sure that I've got a little weird, like, mascara ring around my face. Damn it, I'll be back. Anyway, so I used to wear my tie like this a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And, yeah, it was made popular by the movie The Matrix. It's basically like a reversed Windsor knot. You're just tying it with the little end, not the big end, the little end. That's the end that you're tying it with, and, yeah, I kind of thought it looked cool, and then I had to start working in a professional environment, so I just switched to using the Windsor knot. I had to learn how to do that, and, after that, I stopped wearing it like this even during recreation hours. But I started wearing it again today, and I kind of thought, you know, maybe I should give some thought to this. It's actually kind of cool. I mean, I got some compliments when I first started working at my workplace about the ADT tie knot, or the Atlantic tie knot, or however you want to say it. But, yeah, I don't know why I brought that up. You should fucking notice it. Because it's so cool. So anyway, I was in a Toys R Us. What a surprise! Plastic crap again! I was in a Toys R Us recently, and I noticed that they had their liquidation sales going on. I mean, some of that stuff in the Toys R Us, even... And we're not talking, like, the kiddie section, because it's so bizarre. I feel so strange being, like, an adult in a kid's toy store. Adult, we'll use that term, we'll use that term loosely. Anyway, being an adult in a kid's toy store, because it's sort of like... You have all these kids like crawling around all the shelves and stuff like that. And there's like a couple of sections that are kind of intended for, I don't know, mature audience, you know, the Adult Swim crowd, I guess we'll call it that. And there's no other way to interpret that. I mean, because there's like this whole section, you have like a Hannibal Lecter action figure sitting there, and you're like, well, the kiddies don't know about that. They shouldn't. I really hope the parents aren't showing the kids Hannibal Rising and the like, but yeah, so, I'm in the local Toys R Us. Some of that shut. My God, I want to, like, try to make new slang. Go ram it, Mal! Some of that shit will sit on the shelves for, like, just the longest time, and you're like, really? Honestly? The Prince of Persia stuff, some of the unwanted Halos, and it's just, you feel so bad for them, because it's like, they're so delusional. They keep the price at, like, 20, and I'm like, no, it's not going to sell at 20. And then finally, after, like, more than a couple of years of waiting for it to change, they're like, alright, we'll take off $7. And that's just what they did. Watchmen kubricks! Yeah, so, one of my, favorite reviews that I did, not the ones that was, you know, popular, I don't think it was unpopular, just one of the ones that I did that I like doing the most, was the Kubrick review. Again, we'll cover this briefly. Kubrick's was like they're like a little collector's thing. They make like little action figures that are, they're like very small, like Lego-ized Kill Bills and Lego-ized, you know, anime, like popular anime and movies and stuff like that, and it's kind of a parody of Stanley Kubrick. Some people also theorize that Ku, Japanese for nine brick, because each of the figures has 9 pieces. So there you go. There's a Western equivalent that I think I respect a little bit more, only because being Kubrick being a Japanese company, while it is an amazing idea and makes an amazing product with amazing packaging and cool sentimental features, Medicom, I believe is Medicom, whatever, are the people who produce this. A lot of the stuff they do is Japanese. I mean, like, they have, like, Reservoir Dogs, which is awesome. They have a bunch of stuff that's, you know, that's aimed at an American and multinational audiences, but then they have a lot of stuff that's, like, some really obscure anime, and you're just like, what? I mean, like, I've been to anime festivals, and I'm still, you know, I'm just an acolyte. You know, when they ask me, what kind of anime do you like? I'm like, oh, I watch the Cowboy Bebops. Have you heard about the Cowboy Bebops? And they laugh hysterically, and they go, well, we're watching Death Hammer of the Elven Blood 9. And you're like, okay. I actually, for my birthday, well, first of all, let's go way back. Time for a really long, who wants to hear a story about a bridge? Where did it go? Oh, yeah. I forgot I have bookshelves. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge indie comic fag, and knows that I am not into any kind of Caped Crusaders because they're just homosexual in nature. Yeah. It's totally not gay that Superman, first off, would not be, I mean, everyone would recognize him. The glasses, I mean, like, you know, if I wore glasses, they wouldn't be like, oh, look, it's not Tolstoy now, it's Kent Clark. So, yeah, like glasses, he changes into a fruity red pansy, you know, holy shit, man, I am wearing pansy red booties. What the fuck didn't you tell me? That's basically what it is, and he flies around in a cape, and I'm sorry, I never, ever got into it. And if I did get into it, at least, like, Spider-Man and X-Men. Marvel at least had kind of some logic. DC was just set in and that actually kind of says something. I find it interesting that DC, let's do a little commentary here. DC has most of their stuff in fictional cities, Metropolis and Gotham. Which I did like Batman. I did like the Batman animated series from the 90s, but that's because it's probably the most well-written cartoon, or it's the most well-written cartoon of all time, and probably one of the most well-written television shows of all time. One of them. It was very, very good. And in fact, one of the only comics recently, and I wanted to talk about this, actually got me this at a bookstore and whatnot. Yeah, we have them there, bookstores. There's one. We have a bookstore. I hate this country. Was Batman Dark Victory, and that's because the art was very homegrown, I guess we could say. It was done well. There's kind of a whole trend in comics. Modern comics are all done so, like photographs, you know what I mean? Like someone on a computer goes, meh, done. Almost like a Stephen King book. Like, oh, this would be great to write about. Meh, done. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like they actually took time to draw lines on a page. It feels so synthetic, but this just tastes homegrown. And the story was really well written. Can't show you any of the art because YouTube would, they would come to my house and they'd make me a made man. I'd be like, not Danny DeVito, my cousin Vinny, who's the guy, Michael, you know, whatever. He's like, oh, right, a made man. Oh, my God. I mean, I just ruined the Goodfellas. Hope you weren't going to watch that movie. Anyway, so, yeah, it was very much like The Watchmen, and that's why I kind of liked it. But for the most part, I do not like superheroes, except for Watchmen. Watchmen, I respect and love Alan Moore. Let's talk about Alan Moore for a second. Yeah! Alan Moore is probably one of the greater writers of, well, great, he's a really, really talented author, but he's especially the fact that he's such a talented man working in the comics industry. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. I think a lot of comics have huge writing problems, you know what I mean? It's same thing with video games. Video games is like, as much as I enjoy a video game with a good plot, or a video game with a good action engine, a video game with good action sequences, with great graphics and voice acting, you know, it feels like trying to give the job of writing an epic narrative to software engineers is really retarded. So they end up coming up with, like, you know, and the fact that the market is now pressuring them to do, you know, Halo 5. Basically, if you walk into any, you know, publisher's office and you say, I want to make a video game that's original, they get the fuck out, you know. We just want to have another action explodey game. Get me Super Marine 5. I want to play that game. So basically, I think the comics industry sort of worked the same way. It's just, it was completely dominated up through, like, the 1970s by just, you know, well, this is, he's Splody Man, and he splodes. And finally, in the 80s, you had kind of a mini revolution, thanks in part by Alan Moore's work, who really pushed the, you know, really pushed the definitions of comic. And then you had, like, Neil Gaiman, and then since then, the comics industry has kind of gone to crap. Not a lot of people read it anymore, and if it does become a comic and people like it, they just turn it into a movie. Which is, that's a whole other problem. Same thing with everything. For some reason, movies are the height of human experience. Why? Explain it to me. It was a good book! Movie time! Why? Why a movie is so much better? No, you know? I mean, when you look at it this way, they're like, well, how about we turn a video game into a movie? Like, wouldn't Metal Gear Solid make a good... No! Metal Gear Solid's like a 16-hour experience. A movie at most is like a 3-hour experience. You don't need to try to fit that much information down to that small of a time frame. You're just robbing yourself of goodness. Stop being a parasite. No. Stop being... I don't know, whatever it is that it keeps you from playing video games. I mean, if you're just too old... I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Alan Moore, really like his work, and not just, people know him from V for Vendetta and Watchmen and Extraordinary Gentlemen, but he's done so much more. I think one of my favorite works by him, which is completely long-winded and massive, and the art is, I mean, just, oh my god. Alan Moore, From Hell. Let's make it a movie where Johnny Depp's a psychic. No! We're not gonna do that! It didn't happen! Anyway, so yeah, this really isn't cocaine. I swear to God, it's salt, dude. Look. Come on, I need my fix. Yeah, does taste like sea salt. Oh man, sea salt. I like iodized salt. I hate Wendy's new fries. Anyway, so Watchmen. Really good book. They made it into a movie. My opinion on the movie is complex. If you saw the movie before reading the book, I want you to go get one of these and commit Japanese ritual suicide, because you suck. Yeah, I mean, the book was just, it's considered a comic staple. It's considered, you know, one of the most revolutionary superhero tales of all time. And they turned into a movie, and honestly, they tried to treat it with the utmost respect. And in fact, the liberties that they did take, I was actually very surprised with. It didn't turn out really all that bad. As anyone who's read Watchmen can tell you, in between all the chapters, one of the most creative, what's the word? One of the most creative innovations, I guess, you can say, is that they put all the backstory and the history of this alternate universe in, like, fake clippings from newspapers and fake autobiographies from one of the ex-superheroes from the 40s. And it actually kind of plays out pretty well. It makes sense to me. Basically, they're just masked vigilantes. In the beginning, one of them says, well, why did I put on a mask and go hit like a gangster in the face with a pipe wrench because he was robbing my bank and I didn't want it to happen, you know. And I'm paraphrasing there. But, yeah, and it's Watchmen, the narrative is just, it was so well written, but for comics. Trying to turn it into a movie, one of the biggest problems was they got the actors that sort of looked like the people they were trying to portray, and that was an amazing choice, but the acting, maybe these guys are good actors in outside of the context of trying to make a comic book movie, but inside of the context of trying to make a comic book movie with comic book dialogue is not something, I mean, like here, I'll just pick a random page and I'll see if I can do this as best as I can, like my best acting, how I would do it. I don't want to, like, give away anything, so I just have to pick, like, a small amount of dialogue. Okay, here's one frame that I'm looking at. Making a mask for yourself. You decided to become Rorschach. And, okay, let me see. So I just read the line, and let me see if I can do it within context. Which you wouldn't understand the context, because I'm not going to explain it to you, because I don't want a spoiler. Making a mask for yourself. You decided to become Rorschach. And, don't be stupid. I wasn't Rorschach then. You see what I'm saying? It works in comics, and in fact, this is kind of the same thing with books. I mean, just straight-up books. Sometimes the dialogue in books has to be bigger than what a human would say. The exposition has to be greater than what you would say in a normal situation, which is kind of why you notice a lot of movies, I guess, from like say like the early noir movies. So we'll take that as an example. There was a Family Guy sketch once where there was you know, Chris, you know, it's like they're making fun of old reveal scenes from noir movies, and the Family Guy starts going like, and Chris, you knew that your sister was secretly, you know, a twin, and she wanted to get a twin out of the country, so we want to get her out of the picture. And they're talking like really fast and unrealistically, and I'm like, yes, but two things. One, when your writing has to encompass that kind of a grand scale of plot, and you're trying to make the revelation shocking, sometimes you have to be unrealistic, and you have to kind of hope that your audience disbands their disbelief. I swear to God, if my tongue doesn't get tied into a knot doing all these videos. But anyway, long-winded way of saying I love this. The movie, right, back to what I was saying about this, all the history in it. The backstories, I was like, how are they going to cover that? How are they going to do that? The opening sequence in the movie where they play The Times Are Changing by Bob Dylan, to, like, all of this history that they're just showing, all the alternate history changing in small clips, slow motion, playing that song, showing the credits. I think one of the greatest title openings of, all, you know, movie history. It is right up there with Zarathustra Spoke, dun, 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 you know, I mean, just really good. But then by the end of the movie, they just had to compact so many plot points, and they skipped all these minor characters that help bring the, you know, the world of future New York to life. And it's just, you're never going to get that same kind of experience without reading this book. You know, it doesn't cost that much. I mean, they sell them for like $15 now at your local book and reading store. Go get yourself a local book and reading book, and, you know, go sit on the back porch and light up you know, go smoke a fatty, and read you some Watchmen. Maybe you'll educate yourself on the way things is be going. And this really isn't heavy work. This isn't heavy homework, guys. This is recreation. Don't hurt yourselves. So around the time that they released the Watchmen movie, of course I was psyched, and though I was disappointed with the way it turned out, not entirely, they did their best, but I mean, it's never going to live up to what it is. The Lord of the Rings was one of the only, you know, and I never read the books, I knew about the history, so maybe that's why. I'm pretty sure there were some people maybe out there who read the books, watched the movie, and then were completely disappointed with the movie, and just thought this ruined it. But for me, it was amazing. I fell in love with the movies. I thought they did that great. That must have been that's like a miracle. The fact that like one movie studio and one guy, a writer-director, Peter Jackson, could sort of convert those books into film version. And it did take him three movies. So, you know, personally, the idea that I like the best was they said that they were thinking about turning Watchmen into a miniseries. That is something that has been forgotten in America, miniseries. A movie a night within like 8 movies. 8 movies put together that can explain a much larger story. And the ones that have been done, V, Kenneth Johnson's V. No, not this new V that was written by Republicans that's secretly about Obama, which doesn't make any fucking sense because Kenneth Johnson is the biggest liberal on the face of this earth. I know, let me rewrite the Bible and let it be about how rich people are great. I know, leave shit the fuck alone. V, the miniseries was great. Taken was okay. I love Dakota Fanning. And not in a creepy, molesty way. I just think she's a good actor. Better than Summer Glau. Oh, look, here's this really great show about cowboys in space. What? This crappy actress and she's psychic and she's also a super ninja? That's stupid! So anyway, around the time that they released that movie, I was pretty excited because they released a bunch of merchandise. On my handsome man bag, which is currently buried, my handsome goat leather man bag, which I used to carry this around with me, like, into the malls and stuff, and I thought it looked awesome on me. But then I stopped carrying it because, you know, whatever. Has the Watchmen, this is really the the Doomsday Clock. The Doomsday Clock, I forget which college it is. I believe it's Chicago. Chicago, Illinois, the University of Chicago has a doomsday clock that the professors keep, and it represents how close or far away we are from, quote, the point of no return, from, the eve of destruction. And I believe the lowest it was at 2 minutes to midnight, and that was when both the French and the Russians, or both the Americans and the Russians, I don't remember, did nuclear testing in the 50s, within the same year. And, everyone just thought, yep, we're going to nuke each other. That's the way it's going to be. But we pulled away from that. The highest it's ever been, actually, was during the Reagan administration. And that's not because Reaganomics, where he said, let's stop funding, public stuff so that we'll have to release all the lunatics from the sanitariums. Who needs public lunatics? And who needs insane asylums? Lol. But instead, because he was working out the START treaties with the Russians, trying to de-escalate nuclear war, and for that I actually can forgive him. So yeah, but, right, we were at 14 minutes to midnight. No, it was after the Reagan administration. It was after that during the 90s. I don't remember. Right now we're at, I believe, 6 minutes to midnight? Or 4 minutes to 5 minutes? Either way, we're pretty fucking close. So let's get right back on. Let's, chop, everyone. We're trying to get down to, we're trying to get up to a certain length. We're trying not to die! Anyway, so they're all the way up there, and I've been kind of procrastinating because I gotta get up there and get them. I had a couple of Watchmen action figures that I never reviewed. I think I talked about them briefly when I was on live video, I showed them in one of the reviews, and no one watched that because, stuff. Anyway, so, how to do this without breaking my neck. Let's see here. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of action figures around them, and I believe this thing can support my weight. I believe. If I fall and break my neck and anyone laughs, I'm going to come to your house and kill you and beat your sister with a pipe wrench. Assuming you have a sister. And she's not hot, because if she's hot, I'll probably just try to make out with her. And then I'll get maced, and then, you know how it is. Mace, it hurts. Oh, bloody hell. I need me a stool. Dusty up here, and I'm fucking up the shit in my room. They came with some accessories, but we're not going to talk about that because honestly, no. Great, and there's a computer monitor beneath me that I cannot stand on. Why there's a computer monitor down here? Because I inherited another monitor and I didn't know what to do with my old one, so I just kept it on the floor. That's a convenient spot to leave that. But then again, these days they've got computer monitors that size, that cheap. Probably go buy one for 50 bucks. I could get a hot one off the street from someone who's peddling it. Hey man, want some computer masters? Want some computer masters? Want some Tolstoy videos? Hey man, you get it for free, Where's the bread? Hang on. Too much phlegm from too much excitement. Hang on. Okay, let's see how I'm gonna do this. It's a bit. We're going this far for a bit, I swear to God. Come on, shoot it. Oh, you lose! No, okay, wait. So that's shooting dice with multiple-sided dice. It's hilarious. Okay, ready? Yeah, here we go. This will work. Find the jack. Buddy, find the jack. Where's the jack? Is that the jack? Where's the jack? Yeah. Oh my God. So anyway, right. Got these. Where did I put them? Okay. The Watchmen action figures, if you've ever seen them, They sat on the shelf for a long time, probably because no one... I'm actually kind of grateful for the fact that people weren't interested in the movie, or at least there wasn't that much hype. How do I put it this way? It wasn't that successful. That way, when I say The Watchmen, few people will say, "Oh, I saw that movie. There was explosions in it." In fact, I was relieved the other day when I was talking about V for Vendetta, and I said, yeah, you know, like in V for Vendetta, and they didn't say, "Oh, I saw that movie." They said, "Never heard of it." And I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, listen, there wasn't ever a movie made off of it. It was a book. Go buy it. And they're like, "What's a book?" And I'm like, oh, fuck. So, yeah, Night Owl. He's alright. He's got movie things in all the right places, and he can move. I guess. There's just something underwhelming about it, and I don't know why. I guess because Night Owl wasn't that big of a character. I don't know. He was. It's just something about, I guess, everyone's favorite character from that whole anything was probably Rorschach. And I can't really say why. I guess people just think it's because he was a badass. I like him because even though he's absolutely fucking crazy and a total Republican, I mean, he's like, he talks about, like, the liberals and, like, they're evil and we should have them gassed and stuff. Besides that, he's a moral absolutist. So it's like, and I guess it's like one of the commentaries you can get off of The Watchmen is that even though everybody's opinion, everybody's stance on the events surrounding them, which are titanic and larger than life, changes and wavers, and in the end they all go, "Meh, I guess this was morally okay," including Dr. Manhattan, who's a metaphor for God. If you can't figure that out, that the only one who should be leading us is God. The only one who has the power to really be a superhero is basically on par with God. He's beyond Superman, he's beyond Batman, he's beyond Thor, he's beyond all those faggots. He's basically God, and yet he has no interest in humanity. He'd rather be on Mars, making his sand castles, and he doesn't understand why we invest so much in the what's the word? The anomaly that is life. And that's because he's a loser. Because life is so woo! So, yeah, Rorschach's joints don't really move that far. You can move his head, like, a little bit, but it's cocked at, like, this, like, black girl angle. So, for whatever reason, you can, like, do it, like, that far. I guess I kind of like this action figure now more because I've realized that the more articulate ones, like my Ryu Hayabusa and my... It's all up there. One of these days I'll show you all the stuff that's up there. One of these days I'm on an eternal quest to find a dignified way to display action figures. I'm serious. Like, I'm just thinking in my head, like, alright, well, if I had, like, a mahogany shelf with, like, glass lining and like, a cue cards next to them explaining like it was a museum, nope, you'd still be a dork. So, yeah, and, like his shoes, the detail's pretty cool. At first I didn't like it because of the lack of... Yeah, he does not want to stand up for crap. Getting him to stand up is a biatch. But, besides all that, I don't know, I kind of like the fact that he's indestructible. Less moving parts. Where's the, yeah. Less moving parts basically just means, you know, there's nothing to break. So, yeah, but other than that, it was underwhelming when I first got him. I don't know why. Maybe it's because that time in my life, when I saw that movie, I was, like, really depressed. Not that I'm not always really depressed, but, I mean... It was a different kind of depression. No, it was worse back then. I gotta keep telling myself that. I gotta keep reminding myself that when I saw that movie, shit for me was fucked up. Worse than this. Worse than working 10 hours a day in a meaningless existence and constantly thinking about the pointlessness of life. Anyway. Right, we were talking about kubricks. Wait. One more thing I gotta fucking bring up before I open this. I like to sing about the moon and June and spring. I like to sing about why do I put things so high up? It's hard to kind of get on your tippy toes in these jackboots. Don't look at me. Don't you look at me like that. Mini-Mates. They're the Western equivalent, and they're more aimed at a Western audience. I think they have better IPs, because I've never seen the anime or read the manga of Elven Blood Hammer Fist Punch 9. I've never read that, but I have seen the Man with No Name trilogy, and it's Enrico Morricone does the music for it. Ennio or Enrico Morricone. Great stuff. Especially, I found out that the main theme from Inglourious Bastards... The main theme from Inglourious Bastards is another work by him. I love his music. Whatever nationality he is, I was gonna say Mexican, but that's racist because I really don't know that he's Mexican. That Spaniard, whatever he is, that Latino American can write my music any day. The theme song is called, for the Inglourious Bastards, is called Rabia y Tarantula, the rabbit and the tarantula. It just makes so much sense. You can hear it in the and it works thematically with the concept that these bastards are going in behind the lines, and the Nazis are like the rabbits, and that they're like the tarantula sneaking up to... Blame Starbucks! Okay. Now, we've exhausted about 50% of all my energy. And we still have 2 out of 3 working branches of government, and that ain't bad. That was the only movie by, Tim Burton that I didn't think was shit. Yeah, that's right, emos bitch about it. Hey, Tim Burton's a genius. No, he's not, he's an asshole. Okay, so, let's take a look at the Watchmen Kubricks. Watchmen. Yeah, have I geeked about it enough? Probably not. I saw these in a Toys R Us like 2 years ago. Actually, when did the film come out? 2008? 2009? Long time ago. And they had 2 sets, but I didn't like the way that the sets were split up. You had set A and set B. On set A, you have comedian Ozymandias and, excuse me. Ooh, coffee's coming right back up. You have comedian Ozymandias and Night Owl. My 2 favorite characters are in this box, set B. Dr. Manhattan, who is God, and Rorschach, who is just, he's badass in the sense, he's like who I want to be. Not who I want to be, but who I sometimes feel that I have to be, because I'm such a moral absolutist. Recently, I've kind of started seeing that morality can be played with a little bit, and that it's not always, you know, right or wrong. It's not always black and white. But still, just the fact that he's such a... It's like, he doesn't give in. That's the point of the end of the movie, when he says... Shit! No, the end of the book! The book! There is no movie! In the end where he says, don't you understand, never back down... Never not back down, not even in the face of Armageddon. That's yes, I agree, sir. I am from the Victorian period. Anyway, so yeah, but the problem is that you also have Miss Janie Kaspasiak. I saw a cosplay on a Facebook friend who was at a... I'm like losing on maybe I'm having an aneurysm. Because I'm like losing my train of thought that quickly. Facebook friend, picture of a cosplay of a guy who was dressed as Robin, along with a Wonder Woman, who I could come or go, I really don't care, she didn't look that hot. But, next to that was a girl in a Batgirl outfit, and a Janie Kaspasiak second Silk Spectre. Totally gave me the Molesto face, which goes like this. Oh yeah, the ladies like it. Nah, I'm just kidding. I get maced when I do that. So yeah, definitely just didn't give a shit about Janie Kaspasiak though. If I could have picked, I would have had someone from set A split into set B. Possibly comedian over Night Owl. Ozymandias, I couldn't care less about. So, yeah, but I had to pick between set A and set B. They were retailing originally for $20, and then finally they dropped the price tag down to $12 because they weren't going to move any other way. And $12 is, I mean, seriously, just by dropping the $7, I'll buy it. These things, it's packaged really nicely, and that's just the way that Kubricks roll. That's the way that Medicom does this stuff. It's all packaged really nice in this, you know, little cardboard box that is completely reusable. I still have the Trigun box from the Trigun set sitting up there, and I have my Trigun Kubricks up there. And Trigun Kubricks, that's still really cool. Cooler than this, but this is still pretty cool. I'd like to get my hands on the Kill Bill Kubricks or the Reservoir Dog Kubricks, but let's face it, that's not going to happen. Because those are rare and expensive. So basically, these are intended for, I guess, older audiences. They talk about on the bottom, they're like, this is a product for ages 15 and up. Oh, guess I can't play with it then. So, please read these instructions before you open this product. The packaging material, blah, 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 blah. So, they're like, hey, you're going to ruin the value if you open it up. Do I look like I care? Have I ever been one? You know what? Let's not use the. Let's go ahead and use this crappy Slipknot knife, which will probably result in. There's a little lining of tape. Let's just give that a slicity slice right there. Yeah. So yeah, you open up the packaging, which is very nice, and it has all these lovely advertisements for being cool and hipster and postmodern and ironic. And then you look like a retard trying to get into the box that you just cut open. What am I missing? Oh my god, I sound like an old house lady who's like fainting from seeing a rat. Oh, a rat! Yeah. And then you pull out this shtick right here. The other Kubricks came with like a little nice background. Okay, well this just comes with a background that says "Who watches the Watchmen?" spray painted. It's all gritty and postmodern and crap. The other one came with more stuff, like little stands. This one doesn't come with a stand. So yeah, and they got this extra bit of plastic right here. It's there to piss you off. The first thing that's falling out is the... Oh my god! No, the first thing that's falling out is the grappling hook gun that Rorschach has. First of all, really cool accessory. Of like all the... Again, of all like the superheroes, less is more, people. We're trying to identify with our superheroes. So when like Green Lantern has a... Well, I don't know. I mean, I can understand that Green Lantern is a more fantastic character, and that this is more grounded. Watchmen is more grounded in reality. But the fucking ring, you know, with the... have the power.